11 Stoic Strategies to Command Respect and Leave Them Wanting More. Stoicism. Hey there, Stoic friends. Welcome back to Stoic in Your Life. Let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself putting in all the work, staying true to your values, and leading by example, only to feel like the respect and recognition you deserve just isn't coming your way? You keep your cool under pressure, make wise decisions, and consistently strive to be the best version of yourself. Yet it seems like people around you are just not seeing your true value. It's frustrating, isn't it? You're doing everything right, but instead of standing out, it feels like you're fading into the background. But here's the thing. Respect isn't just about what you do. It's about how you carry yourself, how you project your inner strength and confidence. Today I'm going to share with you 11 powerful Stoic strategies that will not only help you command the respect you've earned, but will also leave a lasting impression that makes people take notice. Whether it's in your personal relationships, at work, or in everyday interactions, these timeless Stoic principles will help you navigate life with the kind of presence and authority that people can't ignore. So, stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have the tools you need to walk into any situation with quiet confidence and walk out with the respect you deserve. I understand how deeply frustrating and painful it can be when you've poured your heart and soul into something or someone, only to feel like all your efforts are invisible, unappreciated, or taken for granted. You've been patient, understanding, and consistently gone the extra mile, yet it often feels as if your actions are met with nothing but indifference. It's as if your voice, your needs, and your worth have been lost in the void, barely registering on the radar of those who should value you the most. But let me ask you this. What if you could change that? What if there was a way to command the respect you deserve and make those around you truly see and appreciate your worth? Imagine them lying awake at night, replaying the moments they've shared with you, suddenly struck by the realization of how much they've overlooked. What if, through a shift in perspective and behavior, you could make them recognize the incredible qualities they've been blind to for so long? This isn't just a dream or wishful thinking. It's a reality that you can create, and Stoicism offers us the tools to do so. The philosophy of Stoicism, which has endured for centuries, teaches us the power of self-respect and the importance of living with integrity. It reminds us that if you ever start questioning whether you deserve better, the answer is often a resounding yes. But how do you make others see that? How do you transform your invisible efforts into something undeniable? The answer lies in understanding and applying certain Stoic principles that not only reclaim your sense of self-worth but also compel others to acknowledge and respect it. Take, for instance, the Stoic idea that we are in control of our perceptions and reactions, but not of others' actions or feelings. This concept is encapsulated in the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By shifting your focus from seeking external validation to cultivating your internal strength and dignity, you begin to project an aura of respect that others cannot ignore. When you stop looking outward for approval and start anchoring your self-worth in your own actions and values, you naturally start commanding respect. This is because respect is earned, not through demands or complaints, but through quiet confidence and unwavering integrity. But let's dive deeper. What does it mean to truly command respect? It starts with respecting yourself first. If you treat yourself with dignity, others will follow suit. This is where another Stoic principle comes into play: virtue as the highest good. According to the Stoics, living virtuously is living in accordance with reason and nature, embodying qualities like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. When you consistently act with these virtues, you stand tall in your own eyes, and this self-assurance is palpable to those around you. It sends a clear message. You are someone who knows their worth and who lives by principles that cannot be easily swayed by others' opinions. Consider Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, who once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This quote emphasizes the importance of action over words. To command respect, you must be the person who others aspire to be, calm in adversity, fair in judgment, and steadfast in your principles. When you embody these traits, others will naturally start to see the value in you, because they will see someone who doesn't just talk about virtues, but lives them. Now, let's reflect on your interactions. Are you assertive in expressing your boundaries and needs? Or do you shy away, hoping others will just understand? The Stoics teach us to be clear and direct, yet also calm and composed in our communications. If you don't clearly express what you expect from others, how can you expect them to respect those boundaries? By practicing assertiveness, grounded in the Stoic virtue of courage, you ensure that your voice is heard, not in a demanding or aggressive way, but in a way that commands attention and respect. But here's where the real Stoic mastery comes in: detachment from the outcome. The Stoics believed that while we can and should take all the right actions, the outcome is not within our control. This idea is summed up in the famous phrase amor fati, which means love of fate. It's the concept of accepting whatever happens as necessary and beneficial in some way. When you adopt this mindset, you stop being overly concerned with whether others will finally recognize your worth. Instead, you focus on being the best version of yourself, regardless of external recognition. And paradoxically, this very detachment often makes others more likely to see your value, because you are no longer seeking their approval. You are simply living your truth. So are you ready to take charge and ensure that your presence is not just acknowledged but deeply valued? Let's dive into this journey together. But before we delve into the Stoic strategies that will reshape how others perceive you, let's start with a powerful affirmation. I am worthy of respect. Yes, you truly are. This simple yet profound statement can serve as a foundation for the confidence you need to stand tall. Take a moment to affirm this truth, not just in your mind but out loud or even in the comments below. Declare your worth boldly to the world. Done that? Fantastic. Now let's move forward. But before we jump into the specifics of how you can command respect, it's essential to understand why it hurts so deeply when that respect isn't given. Have you ever noticed how a lack of appreciation from someone you care about can sting, leaving you feeling undervalued and frustrated? You might find yourself questioning why their indifference affects you so much, why it feels like a punch to the gut when your efforts go unnoticed. The truth is, this pain often stems from the weight we place on others' opinions and the power we grant them over our self-perception. This is where Stoic philosophy offers us invaluable insight. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wisely noted, "It is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them." This statement cuts to the heart of Stoicism, which teaches us that it's not the external events or the opinions of others that have the power to unsettle us, but rather our interpretation of those events. When we feel ignored or unappreciated, it's not merely because of others' actions, it's because we've allowed their judgments to influence how we see ourselves. Now, let's bring this concept into the context of modern life. Think about the workplace where you might be consistently delivering results, going above and beyond, yet the recognition you crave just isn't there. Your colleague gets the praise, your ideas seem to be overlooked, and it starts to eat away at your confidence. Why does this happen? Often it's because we've tied our self-worth to external validation. We start to see ourselves through the lens of others' opinions, and when that validation is missing, we feel diminished. But here's the good news. Stoicism teaches us to shift our focus inward, to reclaim our power by concentrating on what we can control: our thoughts, our reactions, and our actions. Instead of seeking validation from others, we cultivate self-respect by living according to our values and principles. When we embrace this mindset, we begin to see that our worth isn't contingent on others' recognition. It's inherent in how we conduct ourselves. Let's take this a step further with a real-life story. Consider Sarah, a dedicated professional who spent years in a corporate job, always striving for excellence, yet constantly feeling overlooked. Despite her hard work, she rarely received the recognition she deserved. It wasn't until she discovered Stoicism that she realized she had been placing too much value on others' opinions. Inspired by the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, she began to focus on what she could control: her dedication, her pursuit of knowledge, and her integrity. Gradually, she stopped worrying about the recognition that had previously eluded her. She became more assertive, voicing her ideas with confidence not because she needed others to validate them, but because she believed in their value. Over time, her colleagues and superiors began to notice this shift. The respect she had longed for started to come naturally, not because she demanded it, but because she had become someone who commanded it through her actions and self-assured demeanor. Sarah's story is a testament to the power of Stoic principles in modern life. By focusing on what you can control and letting go of the need for external approval, you not only reclaim your sense of self-worth, but also naturally command respect from others. Now, let me ask you this. In what areas of your life have you been giving too much power to others' opinions? How might your life change if you started to view respect as something you cultivate from within, rather than something you seek from the outside world? As we explore the 11 Stoic strategies to command respect and leave others wanting more, remember that the journey begins with you. It starts with shifting your focus from what others think to how you live your life according to your principles. By practicing self-discipline, embodying wisdom, and remaining steadfast in your values, you create a presence that others cannot ignore. You become the person who doesn't just ask for respect, you embody it. So the lesson here is simple yet profound. Respect begins with self-respect. When you live with integrity and stay true to your values, the world starts to reflect that respect back to you. By embracing Stoicism, you're not just adopting a philosophy, you're transforming the way you interact with the world. You're becoming someone who doesn't merely exist in others' lives, but leaves a lasting impact, someone who is not easily forgotten. As you move forward with these strategies, remember that the respect you seek is already within you. It just needs to be claimed. And as you claim it, you'll find that others naturally start to see the value that has always been there. Why do we allow others' opinions to hold so much power over us? It's a question worth pondering, especially in a world where validation and connection seem to be the lifeblood of our interactions. We crave recognition, not just from those we admire, but from everyone we encounter. This yearning is a natural human trait, yet it often leads us down a path where our self-worth becomes tethered to the fleeting judgments of others. But here's where Stoicism offers us a lifeline, reminding us that our true value lies not in the opinions of others but in our inherent worth. As we dive into these strategies for commanding respect and leaving a lasting impression, let's carry with us the wisdom of the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius, a revered Stoic emperor, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This is a powerful reminder that our mindset, not external approval, should be our guiding star. This shift in perspective is essential as we begin to explore how to ensure that others recognize and appreciate the incredible person you are. For many men, the journey to self-respect and the respect of others begins with understanding that respect isn't something you demand. It's something you cultivate from within. You see, respect is closely linked to how we perceive ourselves. If we view ourselves through the lens of others' opinions, we become vulnerable to the whims of external validation. However, when we ground ourselves in the Stoic principle that our worth is innate and not subject to others' fleeting judgments, we begin to stand taller, speak with more confidence, and act with greater purpose. This internal shift, while subtle, has a profound impact on how others perceive us. They sense that we are no longer seeking approval, but are instead operating from a place of inner strength and self-assurance. Now, let's apply this to modern life. In today's fast-paced world, where everyone is constantly connected and yet often feels disconnected, it's easy to fall into the trap of seeking validation through social media likes, workplace accolades, or even in our personal relationships. But what if, instead of chasing these external markers of success, You started focusing on living according to your own values and principles. The Stoics believed that living virtuously, through wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, was the highest good. Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This craving for more validation, more recognition, can leave us feeling perpetually dissatisfied. But by aligning our actions with our core values, we not only build self-respect, but we also earn the respect of those around us. Consider a modern scenario. You're at work, constantly putting in the effort, going the extra mile, yet it feels like your contributions go unnoticed. Instead of letting frustration take over, ask yourself, am I doing this for recognition, or because it aligns with my values of hard work and integrity? By focusing on the latter, you not only free yourself from the burden of needing others' approval, but also start to cultivate an aura of respect that others will naturally respond to. This is where the Stoic idea of focusing on what we can control becomes incredibly powerful. We can't control how others react, but we can control how we carry ourselves. As Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, wisely noted, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This mindset shift is crucial in transforming how you are perceived by others. And let's not forget that these strategies aren't just for the workplace, they're equally effective in personal relationships. Whether you're looking to keep a partner interested or avoid being taken for granted, the key lies in how you project your self-worth. When you respect yourself and refuse to settle for less than you deserve, others take notice. This doesn't mean being arrogant or demanding. It means knowing your value and not being afraid to walk away from situations where you aren't respected. For the ladies, this might mean setting clear boundaries and not compromising on your standards. For the men, it could mean recognizing when you're being played and stepping back with dignity and tact. As you begin to embody these principles, you'll find that others start to treat you with the respect you've always deserved. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but how do I actually put it into practice? The answer lies in small, consistent actions. Start by paying attention to how you talk to yourself. Are your thoughts empowering, or are they filled with self-doubt? Begin to shift those thoughts towards affirmations of your worth. Next, take a look at your daily habits. Are they aligned with the person you want to be, or are they driven by a need for external validation? Adjust your actions to reflect the values that are important to you, not what you think will earn you praise. And finally, practice detachment from outcomes. Focus on doing what's right, not on how others will react. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, finding peace and strength in your own actions, regardless of external recognition. In conclusion, the respect you seek from others begins with the respect you have for yourself. By embracing the principles of Stoicism, you can shift your focus from seeking validation to living a life of integrity and purpose. As you do so, you'll find that others naturally begin to see and appreciate the value that you bring to their lives. Remember, the most important opinion of you is your own, and by cultivating self-respect, you'll command the respect of others without ever having to ask for it. So, are you ready to take back your power and start living with the confidence of a Stoic? Let's begin this transformation together, one step at a time, and watch as the world starts to see you in a whole new light. Trick number 1, step back a bit. So, let's talk about a strategy that might feel counterintuitive at first, stepping back. I can almost hear your thoughts. Step back? How's that going to get me the respect I deserve? Won't that just make me look weak or like I'm giving up? But here's the twist. Stepping back isn't about surrendering. It's a strategic move to regain control and shift the dynamics in your favor. Lao Tzu once said, "To hold, you must first open your hand. Let go." This isn't about waving the white flag of defeat. It's about regaining your power by allowing things to unfold on their own terms. Think about this. When you step back, you're not shrinking away from a challenge. You're giving yourself the space to see the bigger picture and gather your strength. It's like drawing back the string on a bow. Only by pulling back Can you release the arrow with greater force and accuracy? When you take a step back, you allow others to feel your absence, to realize what it means not to have you constantly within reach. This absence creates a space where your value becomes more apparent, where the things you bring to the table are suddenly noticed and appreciated in a way they weren't before. Let's bring this down to real life. Think about your relationships, whether it's with friends, family, or even romantic partners. If you're always the one who reaches out first, the one who initiates contact, who arranges meetups, what happens when you pull back? By stepping back, you're not playing mind games. You're simply recalibrating the balance. When you stop being the one who always sets the pace, you give others the chance to step up and meet you halfway. It's about giving them the room to miss your presence, to realize the gap you fill in their lives. Consider this scenario. You've been the one always texting first, always making plans. What if, just for a bit, you let them make the first move? It might feel strange at first, but by stepping back, you're encouraging them to put in the effort, to reach out, and to show that they value your connection. And here's the thing. This isn't about being manipulative. It's about creating a more balanced, respectful relationship where both parties invest equally. But how do you start stepping back without feeling like you're ghosting them? It begins with small changes. Maybe you don't answer texts immediately. Perhaps you're not always available for last-minute plans. The idea isn't to cut people off, but to subtly shift the dynamic so that your attention isn't taken for granted. And if you're already in a situation where you're not in frequent contact with someone, stepping back means focusing on your own life. Dive into your hobbies, spend quality time with friends, and live fully. Share your experiences, not out of spite, but because you're genuinely living your best life. This kind of self-focus can create a ripple effect, sparking curiosity and admiration in others who see you thriving independently. Now you might wonder, won't stepping back make me look like I don't care? Stoic wisdom has something to say about that. Epictetus, a great Stoic philosopher, once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." In other words, don't fear how others might perceive your actions. Stepping back is a bold move for self-respect and growth, and sometimes that might be misunderstood. But those who truly respect you will understand and appreciate your boundaries. Let's bring this into the context of modern life with a story. Imagine you're in a work environment where you're always the one volunteering for extra tasks, staying late, and going the extra mile. At first, you might think this will earn you respect and recognition, but over time, you notice that your efforts are taken for granted, and your colleagues start assuming you'll always be there to pick up the slack. Frustration builds, and you begin to wonder why you're not getting the respect you deserve. Then, you decide to step back. You start saying no to extra tasks that aren't your responsibility. You leave work on time and you focus on your own projects. At first, there's resistance. Some might even call you uncooperative. But then something shifts. Your boss begins to notice the quality of your work and starts to appreciate the boundaries you've set. Your colleagues start stepping up, realizing they can't always rely on you to do the heavy lifting. By stepping back, you've not only regained control of your time, but also earned the respect that you weren't getting before. So let's bring it all together. Stepping back isn't about retreating in defeat. It's about advancing in a new way. It's about recognizing your worth, commanding respect, and teaching others how to treat you. When you step back, you're showing that your value doesn't come from how much you do for others, but from how you respect yourself and manage your energy. You're not just pulling away, you're stepping up into a more confident, self-assured version of yourself. So I'll leave you with this question. Where in your life could you benefit from stepping back, and how might that change the way others see you? Remember, the power isn't just in what you give. It's also in what you withhold, in the spaces you create for others to recognize your value. As you move forward, keep this strategy in mind. Rise up, reclaim your power, and watch as your interactions transform. You're not just someone to be leaned on, you're someone to be valued and respected. Number 2. Reflect on your social circle. Let's dive into a crucial but often overlooked aspect of commanding respect: the power of your social circle. Think for a moment about the people you interact with the most. As Jim Rohn famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." This isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a profound truth about the influence others have on your life. The attitudes, behaviors, and beliefs of those around you can subtly but powerfully shape your own. They can influence how you see yourself and, in turn, how others perceive and treat you. So, why is it so important to reflect on your social circle? Because the company you keep plays a significant role in either building up your self-respect or quietly undermining it. Let's break it down. Think about the people in your life: friends, family, co-workers. Ask yourself, who among them uplifts you and who drags you down? Do you feel energized and positive after spending time with them, or do you feel drained and diminished? It's not about harshly judging others, but about honestly evaluating the impact they have on your life. For instance, if you're frequently around someone who is constantly negative or self-doubting, it's likely that some of that energy will rub off on you. Over time, you might start adopting similar negative attitudes, which can erode your confidence and self-worth. On the flip side, surrounding yourself with driven, optimistic, and respectful individuals can inspire you to be the best version of yourself. This reflection is the first step, but it doesn't stop there. Once you've identified the relationships that don't serve you, it's time to take action. This might sound daunting, but remember, it's not about cutting people off entirely. Sometimes it's just about setting boundaries. If certain individuals consistently drain your energy or undermine your self-worth, it might be time to spend less time with them. Instead, focus on nurturing relationships that are supportive and affirming. Consider this: how much more could you achieve, and how much better would you feel if you were constantly surrounded by people who truly believe in you and respect you? Taking a hard look at your social circle isn't easy, especially if it means distancing yourself from long-standing relationships. But remember the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius: the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. This means that rather than letting the negativity or disrespect of others drag you down, you should rise above it by aligning yourself with those who reflect your values and aspirations. By doing so, you're not only protecting your peace of mind, but also setting the stage for mutual respect in all your relationships. But what if distancing yourself isn't an option? What if you can't avoid certain people due to work or family ties? In these cases, setting clear boundaries is key. It's not selfish to protect your energy. It's an act of self-respect. Boundaries can help you maintain your well-being without completely severing ties. For example, you might limit your interactions with a toxic coworker or decide to see a negative family member only during certain times. The goal is to minimize the impact they have on your life while still maintaining necessary relationships. On the other hand, think about the relationships that genuinely make you feel valued. These are the people who cheer you on, who challenge you to grow, and who respect you for who you are. How can you invest more in these connections? Perhaps it's about spending more time with them, being more open and honest in your interactions, or simply letting them know how much they mean to you. Strengthening these bonds not only enhances your life, but also reinforces positive behaviors and attitudes that will lead to greater mutual respect. Let's circle back to our affirmation: I deserve your respect. By carefully reflecting on your social circle and making conscious choices about who you spend your time with, you are actively claiming that respect. You are deciding to surround yourself with positivity and growth, which will naturally lead to others seeing and valuing you more. It's a powerful step towards living a life where you are not just seen, but truly valued for the incredible person you are. So I challenge you to take a moment and ask yourself, who in my life truly uplifts me, and who do I need to gently distance myself from? By making these choices, you're not only improving your own life, but you're also teaching others how to treat you with the respect you fully deserve. Number 3. Educate on how to treat you. Let's get straight to it, gentlemen. One of the most crucial steps in commanding respect is teaching others how to treat you. This isn't about being overbearing or lecturing those around you. It's about establishing clear boundaries and setting the standard for how you deserve to be treated. As the great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The way you respond to the actions of others shapes the way they view and treat you. If you allow people to overstep, they will. But if you calmly and confidently set the bar for how you expect to be treated, you command the respect you deserve. The process begins with understanding your own worth, knowing deep down that you bring value to every interaction and relationship. When you fully grasp your worth, it becomes easier to communicate your needs and expectations to others, not as a plea for respect but as a rightful demand. So how do you effectively educate others on how to treat you? It all starts with clarity. Be clear about what behaviors are acceptable and what crosses the line. If someone disrespects you, it's essential to address it immediately and directly. For example, if your partner has a habit of canceling plans at the last minute, don't just brush it off. Instead, assertively but kindly express how that behavior affects you. "I value our time together, and it disappoints me when plans are canceled at the last minute. Let's be more considerate of each other's time." This approach not only communicates your feelings but also sets a clear expectation for the future. It's about making sure others understand that your time and presence are valuable and should be respected. Remember, setting boundaries isn't about being rigid or unyielding. It's about fostering mutual respect in your relationships. When you articulate your needs and expectations, you're not just protecting yourself, you're also teaching others how to interact with you in a way that aligns with your values. But what if someone doesn't take well to your boundaries? This is where consistency is key. You must be unwavering in upholding your standards. If someone continuously disregards your boundaries or disrespects your feelings, it may be time to reassess their role in your life. It's a tough call, but your self-respect is worth the difficult decisions. Consider this powerful truth. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow, what you stop, and what you reinforce. This quote encapsulates the essence of why educating others on how to treat you is so important. Your actions and responses shape the behavior of those around you. By consistently reinforcing your boundaries, you're not only safeguarding your own well-being, but also establishing a standard for how you deserve to be treated. It's a lesson that applies in all areas of life, from personal relationships to professional interactions. In modern life, this strategy is more relevant than ever. With the fast pace of communication and the often blurred lines between personal and professional spaces, setting and maintaining boundaries is essential. Whether it's at work, where you might need to assert your worth by declining extra tasks that aren't your responsibility, or in your personal life, where you need to make it clear that your time and energy are not infinite resources. Teaching others how to treat you is a crucial skill. The respect you command from others often mirrors the respect you show yourself. So be diligent in setting those boundaries and holding others to them. Let's tie this all together with our affirmation. I deserve your respect. By educating others on how to treat you, you're not just influencing the behavior of those around you, you're also reinforcing your own self-worth. This isn't merely about the people in your life. It's about you standing tall in your own value and teaching the world to see you for the remarkable man you are. So take control, set those boundaries, and let the world know that you won't settle for anything less than the respect you rightfully deserve. This is your life, and it's time to live it on your terms. Number 4. Be a little hard to get. All right, friends, let's delve into a strategy that might seem a bit counterintuitive at first, but is incredibly effective. Being a little hard to get. Now, before you think this is about playing mind games or being manipulative, let me assure you that it's not. This approach is all about recognizing and valuing your own time and attention so highly that others naturally start to do the same. In life, people tend to appreciate what they have to work a bit harder for. It's just human nature. When you're always available, always eager, It can sometimes signal to others that you don't value your own time or worth as much as you should. By being a little hard to get, you're not being distant. Instead, you're subtly teaching others to value you more, to respect your time and presence. Let's break it down with a simple scenario. Suppose you're always the one initiating contact, making plans, or being there at a moment's notice. You might think you're being a great friend or partner, and you probably are. But what often happens is that the other person starts to take you for granted. They get used to the idea that you'll always be there, always ready to drop everything for them. Over time, this can create an imbalance in the relationship. The effort you're putting in might not be reciprocated, and this can lead to feelings of frustration or even resentment on your part. So, how do you strike the right balance? How do you become a little harder to get without coming off as distant or aloof? It's all about subtle shifts in how you interact. Start by not always being the first to reach out. Give the other person a chance to initiate, to show that they value your connection enough to make an effort. If you're someone who's always available for plans, try saying no occasionally. Suggest another time that works better for you, instead of always rearranging your schedule to fit theirs. This isn't about being difficult. It's about establishing that your time is valuable and that you have your own life, priorities, and commitments. For example, if your partner calls you last minute to hang out and you've already made plans, don't feel guilty about sticking to your original plan. Politely let them know you're busy, but that you'd love to see them another time. This sends a clear, respectful message that your time is precious, and it makes them appreciate the moments you do spend together even more. And what if you're already separated from someone and want them to realize what they've lost? This strategy can be just as effective. Focus on living your best life. Engage in activities you love. Spend time with positive people. And don't hesitate to share those joyful moments on social media. When they see you thriving and happy without them, it can trigger a realization of what they're missing out on. It's not about rubbing it in their face. It's about showing that your happiness doesn't depend on them, and that's a powerful message in itself. The quote, "Absence sharpens love, presence strengthens it," captures this perfectly. By being a little less available, you're giving others the space to miss you, to reflect on what you bring into their lives, which can deepen their appreciation for you. As we wrap up this strategy, let's reinforce our affirmation. I deserve your respect. Being a little hard to get isn't about creating unnecessary distance. It's about recognizing your own worth and making sure others do too. It's a subtle yet powerful way to ensure that your time, energy, and love are truly cherished. So go ahead, respect your own boundaries, and you'll find that others begin to respect them too. You deserve nothing less. So friends, that was our fourth strategy on being a little hard to get. Congratulations on sticking with us so far. The journey to commanding respect and truly owning your worth is just getting started. I want you to pay even closer attention to the upcoming tips because what's next will take your understanding to an even deeper level. Please do me a favor. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop today's affirmation in the comments. If you've already done it, do it once more. Just type, "I deserve your respect." Now let's move on to strategy number 5. Number 5. Use the power of social media. Now let's dive into something that's become a fundamental part of our daily lives, social media. Whether we embrace it or approach it with caution, there's no denying the impact it has on how others perceive us. But here's the kicker. Social media isn't just a platform for showcasing your life. It's a powerful tool you can use strategically to project your best self and subtly remind others of your worth. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In the context of social media, this means presenting yourself in a way that reflects your growth, confidence, and the rich, fulfilling life you lead. So why is social media so powerful? It's simple. People are naturally curious. They might not always like or comment on your posts, but believe me, they're paying attention. Every picture, every update, is a silent message that tells a story about who you are and what you're up to. By sharing glimpses of your life, you're not just updating your friends and followers. You're subtly reinforcing your value, your independence, and all the amazing qualities that make you, well, you. It's about painting a picture of your life that others can admire, respect, and perhaps even envy. Now, how do you use social media effectively without falling into the trap of oversharing or appearing boastful? Start by considering the image you want to project. This isn't about creating a facade or pretending to be someone you're not. Rather, it's about highlighting the best aspects of your life, the moments of joy, the accomplishments you're proud of, and the passions that drive you. Imagine you've recently taken up a new hobby, achieved a personal goal, or had a fantastic day out with friends. These are the kinds of experiences worth sharing. They show that you're living a vibrant, fulfilling life. If you've just completed a challenging project at work, picked up a new skill, or even tried cooking a new dish, don't hesitate to post about it. These updates not only keep your social circle in the loop, but also serve as subtle reminders of your growth and independence. But here's the key: balance is crucial. It's not about bombarding your followers with constant updates or coming across as if you're trying too hard. Instead, it's about posting intentionally with purpose. Every post should contribute to the narrative you want to create. A story of a strong, confident individual who knows their worth and isn't afraid to show it. It's about curating your social media presence to reflect the true, multifaceted you. Now, let's talk about how social media can play a role in the context of a past relationship. Suppose you're separated from someone and want to remind them, subtly, of what they're missing. Social media can be a quiet but powerful tool for this. By sharing moments that show you're happy, fulfilled, and thriving, you send a clear message. I'm doing just fine, and I'm continuing to grow without you. It's not about being petty or trying to make them feel bad. It's about showing that your happiness and growth don't depend on anyone else. You're living your best life, and that's something to be proud of. Another important aspect of social media is engagement with positive communities. This could mean joining groups related to your interests, participating in meaningful discussions, or connecting with like-minded individuals who share your values and passions. Engaging in these spaces not only boosts your online presence, but also reinforces your identity and values, helping you connect with others who uplift and inspire you. As you navigate the world of social media, keep this in mind. Your social media presence is your digital footprint. Make it count. Every post, every interaction is a reflection of who you are and what you stand for, so use it wisely. Don't just post for the sake of posting. Make sure that each update contributes to the larger picture of your life as a respected and self-assured individual. And let's not forget our affirmation: I deserve your respect. By carefully curating your social media to reflect your true self, you're not just showing others that you deserve respect. You're reminding yourself of it too. Each time you post with purpose, you reinforce this belief, both in your own mind and in the minds of those who follow you. So go ahead. Use social media as a powerful extension of your self-worth. Post with intention, engage with meaning, and let your online presence be a testament to the respect and value you hold within yourself. You've got this, and the world deserves to see the amazing person you are. Number 6. Think before you act. Let's dive right into a principle that's not just fundamental to Stoicism, but crucial for navigating any relationship or situation with wisdom and integrity. Thinking before you act. Now, I know this might sound basic, but let's be honest. How often do we actually remember to pause and reflect before reacting, especially when emotions run high? Whether you're dealing with a hurtful comment, a tough decision, or any situation that pushes your buttons, taking a moment to breathe and think can truly make all the difference. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely put it, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Often our immediate reactions come from a place of emotion rather than reason, and when we act on impulse, we're more likely to do or say something we'll regret later. This can damage relationships, erode trust, and complicate situations that don't need to be so difficult. But when you take that crucial pause, you give yourself the opportunity to choose a response that's aligned with your values, your goals, and the person you strive to be. Let's break it down with a real-life scenario. Imagine your partner says something that cuts deep. Your first instinct might be to snap back, to defend yourself with words you might not fully mean, or to emotionally withdraw. But what if, instead, you paused for just a moment? In that space, you can ask yourself, why did this hurt me? What am I really feeling? How do I want to respond so that this conversation strengthens our relationship rather than tearing it down? By thinking before you act, you might choose to calmly express how you feel and open the door to a constructive dialogue. This not only helps to resolve the issue at hand, but also builds a foundation of mutual respect and understanding in your relationship. This principle of thinking before acting is deeply rooted in the Stoic idea of controlling what you can and letting go of what you can't. You see, you can't always control what others say or do, but you absolutely have control over how you respond. This is where your true power lies. By choosing your actions carefully, you're not just avoiding unnecessary conflict, you're demonstrating emotional maturity and self-respect. And when you respect yourself, others naturally start to respect you more. It's a cycle of positive reinforcement that begins with that simple pause to think. Now, think about situations where you're under pressure to make a quick decision. Maybe it's deciding whether to stay in a relationship, whether to take on a new job responsibility, or how to respond to a heated discussion at work. In these moments, it's especially important to take a step back and consider the bigger picture. Ask yourself, what are the potential consequences of this action? Does this choice align with my core values and long-term goals? How will my decision affect my relationships and my self-respect? By giving yourself this space to reflect, you're more likely to make decisions that you can stand by confidently, decisions that won't lead to regret or second-guessing later on. And here's the crucial point. Thinking before you act doesn't mean hesitating endlessly or being indecisive. It's about taking just a moment, a breath, to ensure that your actions are intentional and reflect your true intentions and values. This brief pause can prevent so many unnecessary conflicts, regrets, and misunderstandings. It's about making sure that what you do is a true reflection of who you are and what you stand for. Let's connect this back to our affirmation. I deserve your respect. When you take the time to think before you act, you're showing respect for yourself by ensuring that your actions are deliberate and aligned with your best self. You're also teaching others that you are thoughtful, intentional, and worthy of their respect. So next time you're in a situation that triggers strong emotions, remember to pause, reflect, and then act. This simple yet powerful practice can elevate your relationships, your decision-making, and your overall life, helping you to navigate challenges with the grace, wisdom, and integrity that define a truly respected individual. You've got this, and every thoughtful action you take is a step towards a life filled with the respect and dignity you deserve. Number 7. Positive self-talk. Let's talk about something that's both simple and profound, something that can genuinely change the way you experience life. The power of positive self-talk. You see, the conversations you have with yourself aren't just idle chatter. They are the seeds from which your self-image, confidence, and ultimately, your destiny grow. The way you talk to yourself day in and day out shapes not just how you see yourself, but also how you interact with others, and how they in turn perceive you. Now, this isn't some feel-good fluff. This is about real, tangible change that begins with your inner dialogue. We've all been there, haven't we? Those moments where a mistake or setback makes us think, I'm not good enough, or I always mess things up. These thoughts are more than just fleeting doubts. They can set the stage for how you approach challenges and relationships in your life. But here's where the power of positive self-talk comes in. It's about flipping that script. Instead of letting those negative, self-doubting thoughts run the show, you take control and replace them with thoughts like, I am capable, I am deserving, or I am constantly growing and improving. These aren't just empty affirmations, they're tools to help rewire your brain, to shift your focus from your perceived weaknesses to your actual strengths and limitless potential. Why does this matter so much? Because the way you talk to yourself sets the tone for everything else. If you're constantly putting yourself down, it becomes evident in your posture, in your tone of voice, and in your overall demeanor. Think about it. If you're telling yourself you're not good enough, how can you expect others to see your value? On the flip side, when you engage in positive self-talk, you start building a foundation of confidence that radiates outward. It's like a light that others can't help but notice. People are drawn to confidence, and they tend to respect those who respect themselves. Let's make this real with a quick story. Imagine a young woman named Emily who's just started a new job. She's excited but also a little nervous, and every time she makes a small mistake, she finds herself thinking, "I'm terrible at this." Now, if Emily lets this thought take root, it could lead to a downward spiral. She might become hesitant, second-guess herself, and eventually even start avoiding challenges because she believes she'll just mess them up. But what if Emily catches that thought and changes it? What if, instead of "I'm terrible at this," she says to herself, "I'm learning, and I'll get better with practice"? Suddenly, the narrative shifts from one of failure to one of growth. This doesn't just change how Emily feels in the moment. It changes how she approaches her work, how she interacts with her colleagues, and how she's perceived in the office. Over time, this small but powerful shift in self-talk can lead to her becoming more confident, more respected, and more successful. And here's where you come in. Start catching yourself when those negative thoughts creep in, because they will. We all have them. But instead of letting them define you, replace them with something positive and true. It might feel awkward at first, but like any habit, it gets easier with practice. Next time you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," remind yourself, "I am capable, I am growing, and I am worthy of respect." Because you are. And this isn't just about making yourself feel better in the moment. It's about fundamentally changing how you see yourself, and, by extension, how others see you. Now, let's talk about that affirmation we touched on earlier. I deserve your respect. This isn't just a mantra to repeat mindlessly. It's a declaration of your worth. It's a reminder that respect starts from within. When you respect yourself, when your inner dialogue is one of empowerment rather than self-doubt, others will start to reflect that respect back to you. It's a cycle, and it starts with you. So, here's the challenge. Make a conscious effort to nurture a positive inner dialogue. It might feel strange at first, and you might not believe the positive thoughts you're feeding yourself right away. But stick with it. Over time, you'll notice a shift, not just in how you feel about yourself, but in how others respond to you. Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about trusting in your ability to grow, to learn, and to be worthy of the respect you seek. And now I want to leave you with a question, one that I hope you'll reflect on as you go about your day. What would change in your life if you started talking to yourself the way you would to someone you deeply respect and care for? How might that shift in dialogue influence the way you approach your challenges, your relationships, and your own self-worth? Think about it, because the answer could be the key to unlocking a more confident, respected, and fulfilled you. The lesson is clear. The way you talk to yourself matters, more than you might realize. By committing to positive self-talk, you're not just changing your mood or your outlook, you're changing the entire trajectory of your life. So start today. Speak to yourself with kindness, with respect, and with the belief that you are capable of amazing things. Because you are. And the world is waiting to see it. Number 8. Say no to pressure. All right, let's dive into something that's absolutely crucial for your mental and emotional well-being. The art of saying no, especially when you're under pressure. It sounds simple, doesn't it? Just 2 little letters, but the impact they can have is immense. Saying no, particularly when you're feeling the heat from others, is one of the most powerful actions you can take to protect your self-respect, maintain your integrity, and preserve your well-being. But let's be honest, saying no can be incredibly tough. Whether it's because you don't want to disappoint someone, fear being seen as uncooperative, or worry about the consequences, the pressure to say yes can be overwhelming. However, embracing the power of no is essential for living a life that's true to your values. Pressure can come at you from all angles. It might be a partner pushing you to move faster in a relationship than you're comfortable with, friends urging you to engage in activities that don't align with your values, or work demands that are stretching you beyond your limits. In these moments, it's vital to recognize that your time, energy, and mental space are not limitless, and it's perfectly okay, even necessary, to protect them. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "No person is free who is not master of himself." Mastery over yourself includes the ability to say no when it matters most. Let's break this down with a real-world example. Imagine you're in a relationship, and your partner is pressuring you to make a big decision. Maybe they want to move in together, but you're not ready. You feel that saying no might upset them or make you seem like you're not committed. But here's the thing. Saying no in this situation isn't about rejecting the person. It's about honoring your own pace and your own boundaries. You might say, "I'm not comfortable with this right now." And that's a statement of self-respect. It shows that you're thinking carefully about your decisions, that you value your own comfort and readiness, and that you're not willing to compromise your inner peace for the sake of avoiding conflict. This isn't just about the relationship. It's about the precedent you set for how you allow others to treat you. Consider this. Every time you say no to something that doesn't serve your values, you're saying a big, resounding yes to yourself. You're reinforcing your own worth and prioritizing your well-being, which is essential for living a balanced life. This doesn't mean you should say no to everything, but rather that you should be discerning about what you agree to. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic thinker, reminded us that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If your thoughts are cluttered with obligations that you've taken on just to please others, your happiness will be diminished. Saying no is not about being difficult or uncooperative. It's about setting boundaries that respect your needs, your limits, and your values. When you stand firm and say no to something that doesn't align with who you are or what you believe in, you're sending a message to yourself and to the world that you won't be swayed by external pressures. You're in control of your life, and you're not afraid to protect what matters most to you. This is where true respect begins, not just from others, but from within. You start to respect yourself more, and in turn, others will respect you more as well. Think about a time when you said yes to something you really didn't want to do. Maybe it was agreeing to work late for the third night in a row when you were already exhausted, or going along with friends to an event that you had no interest in. How did that make you feel afterward? Probably drained, resentful, and maybe even a little angry at yourself for not standing your ground. Now imagine if you had said no. Sure, there might have been a moment of discomfort or awkwardness, but that's fleeting compared to the lasting peace that comes from knowing you stayed true to yourself. Let me ask you this. What's more important? Momentary discomfort from saying no, or the long-term satisfaction of living a life that's true to your values? It's a question worth pondering because the answer will guide you in making decisions that align with your highest self. The great Stoic Seneca once advised, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." Sometimes, the person who most needs improving is yourself, and that improvement often starts with the courage to say no. So the next time you feel pressured to say yes when you really want to say no, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, is this in line with my values? Will this contribute to my well-being, or will it drain me? If the answer is no, then give yourself permission to decline. Remember our affirmation, "I deserve your respect." Saying no to pressure is one of the most powerful ways to reinforce this belief. It's a declaration that your boundaries matter, that your values are non-negotiable, and that you have the right to stand by them without apology. In closing, here's the key takeaway. Saying no isn't just an act of defiance or rebellion. It's an act of self-care and self-respect. It's about choosing to honor your own needs and protect your mental and emotional health. By learning to say no when it truly matters, you're not just commanding respect from others, you're commanding respect from yourself. And that, my friend, is the foundation of a life well lived. So don't be afraid to say no. It might just be the most empowering word in your vocabulary. Now, I leave you with this question. How might your life change if you started saying no more often? Only agreeing to things that truly serve you and align with your values? The answer could very well be the key to unlocking a more balanced, fulfilling life. Thanks for being here and watching today's video on our channel. I'd love to hear what you think of it. Have you used any Stoic principles to earn respect in your own life? If you're stuck on how to comment, please share your thoughts on which principles you found most helpful in this video. Don't be afraid to leave a comment, as your input can help others in our community learn and grow. Number 9. Work on your personality. Another thing that has the power to transform not just how others see you, but how you see yourself, working on your personality. Now, when I say personality, I'm not just talking about being the life of the party or having a magnetic charm. It's much deeper than that. It's about cultivating the qualities that make you a grounded, confident, and genuinely respected man, someone others naturally look up to and admire. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." This isn't just about superficial traits. It's about building a character that resonates with strength, integrity, and authenticity. Your personality is a unique blend of your thoughts, actions, and attitudes. It's what sets you apart in a crowd and gives you your individual voice. And here's the kicker: you have the power to shape and refine it every single day. But why should this matter to you? Because developing a strong, positive personality not only influences how others perceive you, but it also boosts your own self-esteem and confidence, creating a solid foundation for success in all areas of life. Think of it as an investment in yourself, one that pays dividends in respect, opportunities, and personal fulfillment. First, let's talk about aligning your personality with your core values. This is where real growth begins. If honesty is something you value, make it a point to be unwaveringly truthful in all your dealings. If you admire kindness, go out of your way to practice empathy and compassion, not just when it's convenient, but as a standard in your daily life. This isn't about being perfect, it's about striving to embody the qualities that matter most to you. By consciously cultivating these traits, you're not just improving yourself. You're setting a clear standard for how you want to live and be treated. As Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This is your call to action. Don't just talk about your values, live them. Self-awareness is another critical aspect of personality development. Take a moment to reflect on your strengths and identify areas where you could improve. Are there habits or behaviors that are holding you back or don't align with the man you aspire to be? Perhaps you've noticed that impatience or a quick temper sometimes gets the better of you. Recognizing these traits is the first step. The next is committing to small, consistent changes. Maybe it's about practicing patience when things don't go your way, being more open-minded in discussions, or refining your communication skills to express yourself more clearly and calmly. Each of these improvements, though seemingly small, contributes to the larger picture of who you are becoming. Confidence, my friends, is another key element in shaping a strong personality. But let's be clear. Confidence isn't about being boastful or arrogant. It's about being comfortable in your own skin, knowing your worth, and not being afraid to show it. One of the best ways to build this kind of confidence is by regularly stepping out of your comfort zone. Take on new challenges, try something that scares you a little, or speak up in situations where you might usually stay quiet. Every time you push your boundaries, you're strengthening your inner resolve, which in turn boosts your confidence. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca put it, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Embrace these challenges. They are the crucible in which your character is forged. And let's not underestimate the power of a positive attitude. Maintaining an optimistic outlook, even when times get tough, is crucial, not just for your own mental health, but also for how others perceive you. A positive attitude is infectious. It lifts you and those around you. People are naturally drawn to individuals who radiate positivity and resilience, those who can maintain their composure and find the silver lining even in difficult situations. This doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is fine when it's not. It means choosing to focus on solutions rather than problems, on what can be done rather than what can't. Now let's tie this all back to our affirmation. I deserve your respect. By actively working on your personality, by cultivating honesty, empathy, self-awareness, confidence, and a positive outlook, you're not just becoming a better version of yourself. You're sending a powerful message to the world that you are a man of substance, a man who deserves respect not because you demand it, but because you embody it. This journey of personal development isn't just about how others perceive you. It's about how you perceive yourself. It's about building a strong, positive presence that naturally commands attention and admiration. And the best part? This is a journey that never ends. There's always room for growth, always an opportunity to refine your character, and always a chance to become a little bit better than you were yesterday. So, my challenge to you is this. Commit to the ongoing work of refining your personality. Pay attention to the traits you admire in others and strive to embody them yourself. Recognize your flaws, not as fixed characteristics, but as opportunities for growth. And most importantly, never stop pushing yourself to be the best version of you. In doing so, you'll find that respect comes naturally, not just from others, but from within. And I'll leave you with a question to ponder. What steps will you take today to start refining your personality? And how will that impact the respect you command from others? The answer, my friend, is the key to unlocking your fullest potential. Number 10. Share feelings wisely. We all know that open communication is key to a healthy relationship, but the way you express your emotions can make all the difference in how they're received and how your relationship evolves. Sharing your feelings wisely means being honest and direct, yet doing so in a manner that's respectful, considerate, and aimed at fostering understanding rather than stirring up conflict. This approach isn't just about getting your thoughts off your chest. It's about creating an environment where both you and the other person feel valued, respected, and safe. Why does this matter so much? Because while being transparent about your emotions is crucial, it's equally important to share them in a way that strengthens the relationship, rather than putting it under strain. When you master the art of sharing your feelings wisely, you're not just communicating your emotions, you're setting the tone for the entire relationship. You're showing that you care enough to express yourself clearly, and that you respect the other person enough to do so thoughtfully. As the saying goes, the most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. This highlights that effective communication involves more than just words. It's about understanding and empathy. So, how can you ensure that you're sharing your feelings in a way that nurtures the relationship? Start by choosing the right time and place. We've all been in situations where a heated conversation happens at the worst possible moment, when you're stressed, tired, or distracted. Those moments rarely lead to productive discussions. Instead, find a time when both of you can be fully present and focused. This simple step can make a huge difference in how the conversation unfolds. It shows that you're considerate of the other person's state of mind, and that you value the discussion enough to give it your full attention. When you do share your feelings, be clear and direct, but avoid placing blame. For example, rather than saying, "You never listen to me," which can sound accusatory and defensive, try something like, "I feel unheard when we talk about things that are important to me." This shifts the focus from blaming the other person to expressing your own feelings, which opens the door to a more constructive dialogue. This approach not only reduces the likelihood of the other person getting defensive, but also encourages them to understand your perspective. It's about speaking your truth in a way that invites understanding rather than confrontation. Another crucial aspect is to listen as much as you speak. Communication is a two-way street, and sharing your feelings is as much about hearing the other person's side as it is about expressing your own. Encourage them to share their feelings too, and show genuine interest in their perspective. This creates a balanced conversation where both parties feel heard and respected. Remember, the goal isn't just to unload your emotions, but to engage in a dialogue that brings you closer together. And here's something that's often overlooked. Not every emotion needs to be shared immediately or in exhaustive detail. Sometimes taking a step back to process your feelings before bringing them up can lead to a more thoughtful and productive conversation. It's perfectly okay to say, "I'm feeling a lot right now, and I need some time to sort through it before we talk." This not only gives you the space to understand your emotions better, but also shows that you're committed to communicating them in a way that's constructive and meaningful. Let's bring this all back to our core affirmation. I deserve your respect. By sharing your feelings wisely, you're doing more than just communicating your emotions. You're setting a standard for how you want to be treated and how you treat others. You're reinforcing that mutual respect is a cornerstone of any healthy relationship. This isn't just about making sure your feelings are heard. It's about ensuring that both you and the other person feel respected, valued, and understood. When you approach communication with this mindset, you're not just improving your relationships, you're also cultivating a deeper sense of self-respect. So, I ask you to reflect. How might your relationships change if you committed to sharing your feelings more wisely? What impact could this have on your sense of respect for yourself and others? The answer to these questions could be the key to building stronger, more respectful connections. Remember, you've got the wisdom to make this happen. Now it's time to put it into action. By practicing thoughtful, honest, and kind communication, you'll not only enhance your relationships, but also ensure that your emotions are valued and understood in the way they deserve. Number 11. Be kind to others. All right, my friends, let's dive into the last principle that's often overlooked yet holds incredible power. Being kind to others. In a world that can sometimes feel overwhelming and competitive, kindness is a force that sets you apart, highlighting your strength of character and the depth of your humanity. Kindness isn't just about being nice or polite. It's about showing genuine compassion, understanding, and respect to everyone you encounter, no matter the circumstances. It's a quality that speaks volumes about who you are and what you stand for. As Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." In this light, kindness becomes not just an action but a way of living that embodies the very essence of what it means to be a good person. Why is kindness so important? Because it creates a ripple effect that extends far beyond the initial act. When you treat others with kindness, it not only brightens their day, but also has a profound impact on your own sense of well-being and self-worth. Kindness fosters positive relationships, builds trust, and earns respect, qualities that are indispensable in every aspect of life. People are naturally drawn to those who are kind because it signals empathy, patience, and emotional intelligence, all of which are highly respected traits. By being kind, you're not just making someone else's life better. You're enhancing your own in ways that you might not immediately see, but that will accumulate over time. However, let's be clear. Being kind doesn't mean you should allow others to walk all over you or take advantage of your generosity. Kindness is about finding the right balance between compassion and maintaining firm boundaries. True kindness comes from a place of strength, where you can offer help, support, or a kind word without expecting anything in return, simply because it aligns with your values and it's the right thing to do. This kind of kindness is powerful because it's not transactional, it's authentic, and authenticity, as we know, commands respect. In your personal relationships, kindness is the bedrock on which everything else is built. It's in the small, everyday gestures, listening attentively, offering a helping hand, or simply being present when someone needs you, that relationships are deepened and strengthened. Kindness shows your partner, friends, and even strangers that you value them as individuals. It creates a safe and nurturing space where trust can flourish and respect can grow. This is especially important when times are tough, and when you might not feel appreciated or valued. Choosing to respond with kindness in these moments is a testament to your character and resilience. Let's take a moment to consider how this principle applies when you feel unappreciated or overlooked. It's natural to feel hurt or frustrated, and it might be tempting to withhold kindness or react negatively. But this is precisely when kindness can be most powerful. By choosing to be kind even when others are not, you maintain your integrity and demonstrate that your actions are guided by your values, not by the behavior of others. This approach not only preserves your dignity, but also often leads to a more positive outcome, as it encourages others to reflect on their behavior, and often results in a more thoughtful and respectful interaction. Picture this scenario. Your partner or a close friend has been distant or less attentive than usual. Instead of reacting with coldness or irritation, what if you chose to respond with kindness? Reach out to them, ask how they're doing, and show genuine concern for their well-being. This doesn't mean ignoring your own needs or brushing off their behavior. It means addressing the situation with empathy and a desire to understand rather than escalate. This approach can diffuse tension, open up a space for honest communication, and ultimately strengthen your relationship. It's a strategy that not only respects the other person, but also honors your own values. As we reflect on the power of kindness, let's remember this timeless quote: "No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted." This wisdom reminds us that every gesture of kindness, whether acknowledged or not, carries inherent value and contributes to a more compassionate and connected world. Even when your kindness isn't immediately recognized or reciprocated, know that you're contributing to a positive ripple effect that will likely come back to you in unexpected and meaningful ways. You're setting a standard for how you expect to be treated in return, and you're showing the world that kindness is a strength, not a weakness. By embracing kindness in all your interactions, you're not only improving your relationships, but also cultivating a mindset that enhances your own life. You're creating a positive energy that will ripple through your life, attracting more of the respect and goodwill that you deserve. So keep being that wonderful, kind-hearted person you are and watch how the world responds in kind. How might your life change if you made kindness a conscious practice in all your interactions? The answer could be the key to unlocking deeper, more meaningful connections and a greater sense of fulfillment. As we come to the end of this video, I want to thank you for taking the time to explore these 11 Stoic strategies with us. Each principle we've discussed is a powerful tool to help you command respect, build meaningful connections, and live a life that reflects your true worth. Remember, these strategies are more than just ideas. They're actionable steps that you can start applying to your daily life for personal growth and lasting happiness. Now, I'd love to hear from you. How will you incorporate these Stoic strategies into your life? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to type, "I deserve your respect," to affirm your commitment to these principles. If you found this content helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to Stoic in your life, and share this video with someone who could benefit from these insights. Your engagement helps us continue to spread the wisdom of Stoicism to those who need it. Thank you for being part of our community. Keep standing tall, embracing your worth, and shining bright, my friends.